Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Snitch. How are we doing? Oh my God, I'm freaking great. I'm kind of riding a high right now because I just booked my absolute dream bucket list trip to like my bucket list place that none of you guys would ever guess because it surrounds a fixation I've never talked about really on YouTube or online. Anyway, okay, to make a long story short, I hope you guys are also having a good 2024. Have I even posted since the new year started over on YouTube? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I'm so married to short form content. If you want to see more of me, I'm posting pretty much every single day on TikTok and Instagram. Some outrageous things. Yeah, if you miss me, I'm over there. But I do want to come back on YouTube because I want to show you guys some of my vlogs from like the places I'm traveling this year. My 2024 is beginning in March, if anyone would like to join me. Also, how different does this look? Because I'm going on this trip, I decided to finally get a camera that I'm maybe competent at. It seems pretty user-friendly, and a mic that's totally dragging down my shirt in a way that makes me look like I should be in a tavern in Shrek. Love it. Today, guys, oh my gosh, I've noticed the craziest thing online and I have to talk about it. I was gonna just post it on like TikTok or Instagram or something, but there's too much to talk about. This has to be a long form video, so I miss you guys. Hi. Also, if you've never seen my face before and you'd ever like to see my face again, feel free to subscribe down below. We would love to have you. And if you're phone, please. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me on this little video journey. It means the world. Okay, guys, the craziest thing is happening over on TikTok, over on Instagram. If you are here on YouTube and you're mostly like, you don't really consume that type of content, let me be your trend predictor, okay? Because if there's one thing that I'ma do, it's predict a cultural trend. And I only do it in my head. Like I don't what is it called? Toot my own horn. I don't toot my own horn about much, okay? But I do feel like I'm pretty good at predicting trends. And also my overall major, I had a concentration in art history. That's what I took most of my classes in, but my overall major in college was media studies because I'm gonna study some media. I think we're witnessing the death of Instagram face. I really do. And I find it really interesting because I'm somebody who has been watching and in the beauty space since like 2016 probably. I saw the rise of Instagram face in a big, big way. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Instagram face is essentially that sort of very white adjacent but slightly racially ambiguous, poreless, tiny chinned, chiseled jaw, tiny little nose, big lips, big eyes, but the cat eye, like you guys know the Instagram face. It's the face of every Instagram model over the course of the past like decade, basically. Botox and fillers were up 18 and 20% in 2018 versus the 5 years before it. It's very obvious that this face caught on super, super quickly. It's kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different races, ethnicities, and surgical procedures that all come together to create this like beautiful baby. The Kardashian Jenners played a huge part in sort of popularizing this face, particularly Kylie. You guys know the face I'm talking about. I don't need to over-explain this. But to talk about why that face that was literally everywhere now I think is going to be seen as like really chuggy and literally nowhere, we have to talk about tattoos. And I'm so sorry, we have to go back to 2020, which the fact that 2020, like lockdown, was 4 years ago, horrifying. You guys remember back in 2020, it was so popular to be super alternative. Like piercings were really in, bridge piercings especially, lip piercings, snake bites. Everyone was doing that really big, like kind of bat wing eyeliner. Honestly, I think people were just really, really bored sitting inside. So a lot of people who had never really clued themselves into alternative aesthetics realized like, oh, this is a really fun way to do my makeup and this is a really fun way to dress. And it was weird as somebody who has always been alternative. It was like, damn, why does everyone suddenly look like me, bro? TikTok specifically, more than any other social media, really pushes the idea of a micro trend. Like I'm sure you guys have seen like the eclectic grandpa and the office siren. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure you guys have seen that because if you're not on TikTok, I sound absolutely insane right now. There are all these little micro trends and little like niche aesthetics that come and go really in the course of like a month. And now I'm seeing so many videos of people saying like, you can leave your 2020 self behind, but she'll never leave you, basically. And it's a lot of women in particular, or girls, who were not alternative before, were alternative, like very, very out there alternative for 2020, 2021, and now have reverted back to their old style. The difference between trying on like boho or office siren or whatever, like trying on an aesthetic that only requires you to change maybe your nails, your makeup, your clothes, even your hair, is very different than an aesthetic like alternative, which for a lot of people requires you to make permanent or semi-permanent body modifications. Like, yeah, I could get a wolf cut, and that might be like really annoying to grow out if I want to suddenly be like this hyper feminine, whatever. But ultimately, like one day post wolf cut, I could still achieve clean girl. This probably sounds like gibberish, but for the girls that get it, with the advent of Saltburn, I'm wondering how many of these eyebrow piercings that are so trendy, these eyebrow piercings are gonna leave scars, and people are gonna be like, why did I do that? Why did I follow that trend that now is affecting me when I'm like 50? I still have an eyebrow scar, right? And that's even more so the case with tattoos. To get back to the point of this video, I've been seeing all these videos surrounding girls who want to get their tattoos lasered off and are trying to remove their tattoos from their 2020 alternative phase. It got me thinking about the fact that, you know, laser isn't perfect, but it is indeed an option to get rid of tattoos. So ultimately, tattoos and piercings might leave a little scar, a little hint of something. For the most part, you can get rid of most of them. And I was sitting there and I was kind of thinking like, damn, the same cannot be said for plastic surgery and for cosmetic surgery. Guys, baseline, base level. Botox, fillers, particularly filler, but also like other surgery like BBLs, cosmetic procedures that have become trendy, buccal fat removal. These surgeries have become so popular. And they've become so popular because they've become significantly more accessible. Obviously, filler is still expensive. It's a financial undertaking. It's a lot of money, but plastic surgery used to be really expensive, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. And that's not the case anymore with these lunchtime procedures. Like you can walk in to a med spa and you can walk out paying a couple $100s and have an altered appearance literally immediately. It's not just celebrities. I was reading an interesting article. I'll put all the articles I read in the past couple days before making this video down in the description. But, you know, in the past, these celebrities, these women would kind of go behind closed doors, like back in like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, really until today. And they would come out with a new nose or a new hairdo. People wouldn't necessarily know what they had done, but there would be all this commotion. People would talk about it. It would be in magazines. And now everybody's able to tell everything you've had done cosmetically pretty much immediately, because we've seen so many before and afters, so many just blank faces of random people who are getting pretty much every procedure under the sun. There's no mystery. Probably every single one of you watching this knows somebody personally who's gotten filler or Botox or some kind of cosmetic procedure like that. They are ubiquitous. I definitely became fully addicted to them when it was so popular to have Instagram face. Oh my God, back in the day, thinking about how pointy I was. I was so angular. I've made videos about this on my channel before, so if you want to go back, you can watch them. I'm by no means anti-filler, anti-plastic surgery, anti any of that. Like, I really feel like you should do exactly what you want to do with your body, whether that's getting tattoos or getting them removed, whether that's getting filler or never touching plastic surgery at all. Like, I truly couldn't care less. But with filler, with Botox, anything like that I could totally decide to do in the future, I just never wanted to not look like me. And I feel like that's sort of where we've gotten away from perhaps the original intention of filler. I honestly don't know what the original intention of filler was, except to capitalize on women's insecurities. But it is interesting that it's not like people are going into these med spas necessarily a lot of times to like fix something they don't like about themselves. That's problematic in and of itself, but it's going past that. Now, I think people are going into med spas a lot of the time and saying like, make me look like this, and it's someone else's face entirely, and it's always the exact same face. Like every time it's the exact same face. And now that this face is quite literally everywhere, guys, I think we as a society have genuinely outgrown it. You know, you used to see Back in 2018, 2020, before TikTok really popped off, you used to see someone who had that perfect, poreless, gorgeous Instagram face, and it would stick with you because you'd be like, wow, how could somebody be that beautiful? Now, I feel like we're scrolling through TikTok and we're seeing like literally, if you're on TikTok for an hour, you see like 100 Instagram faces. You see like 200 Instagram faces. If you're scrolling fast enough like me, you're seeing like 1,000 Instagram faces if you just need those dopamine hits, right? I think we're just, it's become so oversaturated that it's no longer the sign of wealth and luxury that it once was. I think a lot of times with these procedures, lip injections, things like that, women who got them wouldn't mind that it would be obvious they got them because it would be seen sort of as a status symbol. Like, I have the disposable income to go in and get this done, so I don't mind if you know that I did it. But now, I don't know, I saw a lot of like budgeting and saving money on people's 2024 ins. It's certainly on mine. And I think this idea of like exuberant wealth just isn't, even to the uber wealthy, it's not what they are trying to present anymore. I mean, you look at how Gen Z dresses even, and it's a lot of like oversized clothing. It's a lot of thrifting. It's a lot of vintage clothing, older clothing, things that are sort of intentionally thrown together. The economy is freaking awful, and like nobody can afford literally anything. So I definitely think it's in part because of that. But I also think the pendulum's always swinging, and right now, like that display of wealth just like isn't in. So what does that all mean? What it means is that we're seeing something really interesting happen. I saw a video the other day of this really pretty girl, and she was saying, it's one of those days, I'm paraphrasing, but it's one of those days where I'm so glad I don't have Instagram face. And she was, I guess, a little bit unorthodox looking. Still, I would consider somebody who is like very classically pretty, but definitely didn't have that racially ambiguous face I just described, which, it should be noted, is so largely pulled from Black and Latino women. But anyway, I was like, that's interesting. I wonder if Instagram face is going through the same metamorphosis that sort of the alt phase of 2022. Like, are they running parallels right now? So I started going down the rabbit hole, and I saw another video of a woman talking about, she was actually an injector. So she gives people Instagram face. And she was like, you know, I'm seeing a trend, people talking about Instagram face, and it seems like it's the worst thing in the world to have right now. And I was like, wait a minute. Are we seeing the death of this face that people literally have on their face? You can take out piercings. You can get tattoos removed. Like, you can't take off your face. You can get filler dissolved. Filler does dissolve over time, but like buccal fat removal, things like that, that's irreversible. And your face never really looks the same. BBLs, irreversible as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but irreversible. I just really wonder. I've seen so many women getting their lip filler dissolved. I think we're about to see a big push from a lot of celebrities and influencers who have sort of this Instagram face to look significantly more unique. I think it's a big part of the reason why we're seeing not just celebrities and influencers, but like so many people online bleaching their eyebrows. I think it's the reason why maximalist makeup is back, like makeup for the girls, makeup that doesn't appeal to the male gaze, why that has taken over and completely pushed the clean girl look away. I think people are significantly more interested in looking like people. I've even seen so many videos of celebrities from the 90s and early 2000s before Facetune, before like Botox even. I think that was approved by the FDA in 2002. People are really idolizing these faces. All the comments are like, these women are beautiful, but they look like women who I would have known in school, or like they look like they could be your friend. And that's really, I think, charming to people after years and years of being flooded with these perfect images. And what do you do when you've paid thousands and thousands of dollars to change your entire face and body to match a trend that is no longer trendy? And not only is no longer trendy, but is evidence that you were once chasing a trend. I think that's what's gonna be interesting to watch, is that sort of like almost like getting like a Pinterest tattoo. It's not only that you have this lasting evidence, it's that you have the lasting evidence that people will read and make like a snap judgment on. And again, I want to restate, like, by no means am I against plastic surgery or filler. It's something I've partaken in, it's something I've talked about. Like, do you with your own body. I was reading another article talking about the Instagram face versus sort of like the ugly, pretty face, and how the Instagram face is neoclassical in that It's beautiful because it fulfills a purpose. Basically, that's like a very dumbed down like way of explaining it. But we know the TikTok algorithm, this was leaked, that it favors certain body types, that it favors certain skin types. People that like algorithmically TikTok determines to be more beautiful are gonna be pushed more. So there literally is a use value to that poreless, perfectly proportioned Instagram face. Whereas the ugly hot, like that's hot. The article said points to some truth, that there's like a level of honesty behind ugly hot because of its imperfections. I think that's where we're moving socially, where interesting faces are gonna be prioritized over these perfect faces, particularly because of AI. Like, oh my God, the perfect faces are gonna be everywhere. Like, people are gonna be looking for humans. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I thought it was so interesting that something that I've been, musing on for almost a decade now, this Instagram face brought on by cosmetic surgery, now is really seeing a massive downfall. I honestly welcome it. I'm really excited to see more human faces and more diversity in the type of faces I see on my feed. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this camera and mic setup. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a flower emoji. Oh yeah, leave a flower in the comments. Thank you for being my friend today and always, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.